Okay, hey guys, so this is kind of like the first video of the series, I guess. We're going to be talking about Thailand. Um, and ideally, what I'm trying to help you with here is like just preparing and planning for your holiday. Um, yeah, the first couple of things that are essential that you have to really pay attention to is deciding what kind of holiday you want. There are many options for Thailand. You can be in the beach, or you can be in the jungles. You can travel around smaller cities. You can go to villages. You can stay in Bangkok. You can do almost anything, and they have activities of all sorts. You can go and see elephants. You can go to wildlife places. There's temples everywhere, and there's some amazing temples. Honestly, some of these places are just incredible. You just won't believe that they're possible. I won't spoil a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's quite eye-opening. There's a hell of a lot of history. You can go to the old city. There's just so much to do there that you need to really be clear on what you want to do, and be aware that you're not going to be able to fit everything in on one trip. It's as simple as that, unless you're going to go for like 3 months maybe, just to scratch the surface of all possibilities. Anything shorter than that, and you're really, what you need to do is decide on the two things that you most want. If you're going to go for a couple of weeks, I think you can probably fit three things in. You could probably do Bangkok city. You could do one of the choices of either the wildlife, or the temples, or the beach, and then you could choose another one of those to kind of sit alongside. And you could probably do 4 days of each with a day either side. You kind of have to allow for that, because it's not always easy to get around, in the sense that everything's there for you. You have all the trains, you have all the buses, you have all the planes. You can get anywhere, and it's very simple once you know how. But not knowing how is a part of the problem, because you fluff about. You go to the train station and you can't read anything, and you don't know what time the train is, and you're talking to people, and it becomes a bit of a kind of a pain at first, because it's your own ignorance, shall we just say. I'm not saying you're ignorant, I'm just saying that it's very difficult to understand what's going on when you're surrounded by foreign language, foreign letters, foreign writing, foreign people talking in languages that you don't know, and there's so many tourists flocking around. You can waste a bunch of time just getting from A to B, because you just don't really know how to do it yet. So I would just say allow for a couple of days of fraffing about, because it's going to happen. It still happens to me now sometimes. Things go wrong. Sometimes there's just way too much traffic. Sometimes a plane gets delayed. Things happen. So try not to have too tight a schedule between moving around and stuff. Just allow for it, and just accept that sometimes things are going to go wrong, and also budget to that as well. Just always just have that little bit extra, because things do happen. I've had all sorts of crazy stuff happen, where you've had to go and buy new clothes, or you've had to just be delayed in an airport forever, and you just don't want to. You have to just be prepared for stuff like that. It's not possible to avoid. If you avoid it, you've been really lucky, or you've done really well. But yeah, just be aware that not everything's smooth sailing, and it can get quite hectic. Again, with lots of travellers, some of those airports get so full so quickly that it can take you 2 hours to get through, and then another 2 hours to get from the airport to the hotel. It's not straightforward. So yeah, try to give yourself enough days, and try to think about what you want to do within those days. That's kind of the first thing you need to think about. After that, there's a lot of other stuff that's just available to you that will make you think, oh, actually, that sounds really good. Maybe I want to do that instead. So be flexible in that sense. Make some priorities. I would personally Prioritise, if you've never done it before, I'd prioritise elephants. Go to see elephants. They are the most amazing creatures. They're insanely funny. They just have their own personalities. They're like humans. Honestly, it's unreal. I had maybe my best day of my life in Thailand with elephants, and it was just something that you just don't forget that. That was amazing. So I prioritise it and then try to work around it, but don't be too strict if you can help it. Make sure you've got a day before you go to see them, then go spend the day with them, and then have a day where you don't try to fly in, see some elephants quickly and then disappear again. Like it just never works like that, And most often where the elephants are, like it's a lovely place. Chiang Mai has lots of sanctuaries where they've rescued elephants. There's an amazing one down by Hua Hin, which I absolutely loved. They have them in Chiang Rai. So like they can fit into your holiday and they can help you with your plans. I would say like put a heavy priority on the things that you actually know you're going to love, but stay quite loose around other things. I mean, if you're planning to go and spend 5 days on a beach, you don't really have to think about much there. Like there's nothing really particularly to think about. You just go and you lay on a beach and you stay at a hotel, and that's fine. Like that there's no real planning needed for that. And there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. Everyone needs to recharge. I'm sure people will work seriously hard in their jobs and the last thing they want to do is go running around through jungles. I understand that. Everybody has their own choices. As beaches go, try and avoid the tourist ones. If you wanna have a bit of a sort of a party holiday, go to the beach. If you want a sort of an Ibiza vibe where you go to the beach during the day and then you go party at night, sure, go to Koh Samui, go to Phuket. I really don't want to ever say go to Phuket. As it stands right now, June 2024, Phuket is the most overcrowded tourist spot in the world. It is absolutely full of people. There's been a lot of people leaving Russia to go to Phuket since the war began there with Ukraine. A lot of people have took their money with them and set themselves up in Phuket, and because of that the prices have gone sky high. There's just so many people there, and if you want a Thai experience and a Thai beach experience, an overcrowded beach full of people, not really the one. So I would recommend going to more smaller islands where they kind of cater to tourists, but usually they cater into Thai tourists or Malaysian tourists, and you'll find that those places have far better food, far better experience, nicer, cleaner beaches. There's hundreds of islands. There's so much choice. So really research that. I would say avoid the ones you've heard of. Don't go to. That would be my worst. Krabi is very nice. Don't get me wrong. Last time I was there, they'd suffered a lot from COVID, and so a lot of places were closed, and it was very, very quiet in the old town. But if you go around onto Railay Beach, like it's beautiful. If you don't want to leave the hotel, you just want to spend time on your own private beach, you've got a restaurant that's actually on the beach. You can kind of have that sort of luxury little bit tucked away from everybody else, which I would prefer rather than Phuket, which is just swarming with tourists. And where tourists go, scammers go, money makers go. You can be sure you're going to be surrounded by all sorts of I don't want to really go into what's going on in Phuket right now, but research it, have a look, make sure you have a good look online and watch some videos and see what it's like. They're saying it's almost becoming a second Pattaya, which again, I don't want to stick the boot in on a place. People have to earn money, and I'm not here to judge anybody or their holiday choices. So I've never been to Pattaya, but from what I've heard, it's just not the place for me. And so look it up look these things up online and see if it's the kind of crowd or the sort of people that you want to be out with, and then it's up to you where you go. But I would personally just say to you, avoid the three main places that you've heard of, and go and find a beautiful beach somewhere, Koh Samet, or one of the smaller places where a lot of the Thai people go on holiday, or Malaysians. You can even go down to Langkawi, or you can go to Koh Lipe, which is probably the most beautiful island of them all. There's hundreds you can choose, but do your research on that, and I think that's very important, because if you're going expecting paradise and you end up with thousands of people all on top of each other shouting and screaming, you might not enjoy it as much as you thought you were going to, and you might not relax as much as you wanted. But if you want to go to the party, then look for the most famous places, because that's where the kind of party crowd goes, because that's where the money is. So yeah, that's your choice. It's up to you with that. Okay, so I will do some even more in-depth videos about these sort of subjects, which have more planned itineraries, things that I've done personally that I felt were a good mix of everything, and able to kind of take in as much of Thailand as I could in a short period of time, and been able to do it cheaply, but also you can do it at any price. But I always try to find the cheapest way to do things, because I'm aware that a lot of people, they just need to do things that way, and that's fine, and that's probably the best way, and it's where you'll get to meet the most people and get the most enjoyment out of it, I feel, anyway. So yeah, that will be coming. But yeah, I mean, just briefly overview, like, this is what you need to do. Think about this, think about that. Make sure that you get the holiday that you want. I'm also available on Instagram, the same name, follow the Farang. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer almost anything, to be fair. I've been there long enough. I want people to have the best time possible. So yeah, just hit me up. But please, if you're going to ask me questions there, then please like and subscribe here. I need to get these subscriber levels up. I've got so many videos I want to post from trips, and at the moment I don't have the subscribers to make it really worthwhile. So the more I can get, the more stuff I can post that I've already got, and then when I'm back, I'll be able to do more live stuff, and just try to build this account into something which is worthwhile, as opposed to just a glitzy, glamoury, Instagram-y kind of influencer content account. I don't want to make things all glamorous and stuff. I want you to see how the real Thailand is, what it's like to actually negotiate things day by day, and just be generally helpful to people, rather than this whole amazing, everything's so wonderful, yeah, so just trying to be genuine and honest. But yeah, hey, like and subscribe. I will do another video at some point, which will be more about packing and things you need to take with you, things that you don't need to take, things that you can just get when you're there. Again, it's a very simple country to do. Everything they have there is made for people who live there, so it makes sense to not carry tons of stuff that you're never going to need. And I'll go through a suitcase kind of style, what you should take, what you shouldn't take, what you need in general, and then you can just add your own bits to that once I've done that. So okay, like, subscribe, thanks for listening if you made it this far. See you in the next video.